Hi, Chuck Bush here with Matthew Dillner, special guest Brendan Gaughan.
This guy.
For our very special edition of #NASCAR Goes West. We're leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah, and it's in the morning, as you can tell. Chuck needs his coffee in the morning.
Don't bogart that whole thing.
Hey, if you want some, I got some.
So yeah, it's all you on the East Coast right now. You're getting your bologna sandwich ready and your potato chips, and you're gonna watch.
It's lunchtime.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's
morning here. Brendan's sleepy. It'll be okay. You good?
Long day.
Okay.
I mean, long day for you. You were out there on the track yesterday.
It was a very long day on the track yesterday. Can we talk about Saturdays?
Yeah, we
talk about Saturday instead of
Saturday.
Well, just to let you know, folks, we are not just in front of a camper like at Camping World RV Center. We're with our Camping World RV, but we're at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So in the infield, we've been here since Thursday, camping out, and this whole deal is about NASCAR Goes West. #NASCAR Goes West. Chuck Bush and I, along with Josh Hamilton, NASCAR Social, and Cousin Eddie, our driver, and all of us, we're actually taking this thing between all three West Coast races.
Don't forget Justin.
And Justin, our camera guy.
CJ, our audio
that's Justin.
guy.
He's behind that.
They're behind the camera right
Cousin
now.
Eddie?
They're not in
Cousin
front.
Eddie. No, that's Cousin Eddie. Really.
Cousin
He's
Eddie.
our driver. Yeah.
Hey, Clark!
Oh, trust me. When we have to dump,
It's full.
when we have to dump, the jokes will be flying, dude. So okay, jokes and some other things, but hopefully in the pipe. Hopefully it stays contained. Okay. Well, this show is not contained right now, so you did have a good day on Saturday.
We had a good day Saturday.
Had a chance to win.
No, that's all you can ever ask. Xfinity Series, anytime you're racing, all you want is a chance to win. Had a shot to win. Had a restart next to my teammate on the bottom in the front row. Only guy that was able to keep up with him on restarts. If it's anybody but my teammate, I'd probably slide up in front of him and just make it rough. But Austin and I have raced each other really hard, really clean. And like I told him, I said if he hadn't won at the South Point Casino, would have been really pissed off because he, pinned us down. So he won it. RCR wins it. ECR wins it. That means South Point wins it. And then yesterday was just a extremely long day.
But that's okay. You have ups and downs in the sport. The whole weekend as a whole, you have a lot of ups because that's your South Point Casino there. Just walking in that place, all the people from the racing community, whether it's fans, officials, to the RCR boys, everybody actually gets to come out here to Vegas, whether you're camping in an RV or sitting in the stands or hanging out at the South Point or the other places. You have fun in Vegas.
We had like 26 teams staying with us. We had Tough Edmonds Championship bull riding Saturday night.
Really?
And it was
Did you get on a bull?
I'm not afraid. I'll just tell you that. But
I'd like to see that.
I did it once actually a long time ago.
You did?
College steer.
How many seconds?
Seemed like 2 minutes. What I tell everybody, it's not tough to ride that animal. Getting off is the really tough part. But it was actually the perfect mix. We had cowboys there and the bull riding, and all the racers and race fans and racers are cowboys. A lot of them.
Pretty much.
Best attended CBR we ever had. It looked fantastic. Like I said, everybody comes out there. All the racers are there. It was a great weekend for racing for us. The weather was fantastic. Finally got a nice weather weekend this year, which you guys picked a good time to go NASCAR Goes West because it's just stunning. And it was a good weekend. Even the Premium Motorsports on Sunday. It's a little small team that's trying to get better, and we just missed a little bit this weekend. Okay, we missed a lot this weekend. But it's okay.
You got to start from somewhere.
Our goal was a top 35. We missed it. We ended up being 38th. But we struggled hard all day. We kept digging. We tried to learn some things. So we'll come back at Phoenix and be stronger.
Well, that kind of plays into a question that we had on our interactive chat. If you're watching at home, see that
right to the right.
To the right.
Right over here.
That's their
chat room over there. Not
right.
over there.
Gotcha. Look at
that's
the screen.
chat room.
Our
like
left,
right there.
They're right. So because they're looking.
It's not behind my head.
But Jessica Gaughan, I believe. Yes.
Yes.
Is it like my last name or?
Right there. Jessica Gaughan.
Oh, Gaughan's. Okay. That's
on our sprint tablet.
Ask him if he enjoyed the race yesterday. Did you have fun out there at least?
Well, yesterday. Can't say yesterday
Saturday.
was like phenomenally fun.
Yeah.
But what it was what I signed up for. I knew that this team would have some struggles. Unfortunately for us, the Las Vegas race is the third race of the season, second for this race team because I didn't get to do the Daytona 500. So we knew that we would have some early growing pains, and sadly, Vegas is a big race for us. So it would have been nicer had it been the 6th, 7th, 8th race. Would have had a little more time. But you know what? I'm still having fun. I'm driving race cars for a living. You can't knock that. This is perspective, boys.
To me, any day where you're behind the wheel of a car with some of the best drivers in the world,
and it beat Jimmy Johnson. I'm just.
Hey,
I'm just.
There you go. Hey, not bad.
You beat a six-time
and you know what?
champion.
The people at home right now, there's people probably watching at home. Sometimes you guys have good days. Sometimes you have bad days. even race car drivers have good days and bad days. So,
But it's perspective.
and
Cameron
even
guy,
I have
he had a bad day yesterday.
I have
He
bad
tried
day
to
with these
shoot
legs.
when Harvick crossed the stripe, won the race. So
Oh, yeah,
Dillner's
it was
following
bad.
the camera, and then
Foul.
he goes back to get the checkered flag, and he missed by 5 feet. So he got stance.
I finished 38th.
There you go. Nice job.
So you finished better than Dillner finished.
You beat me.
That's a
Yeah.
bad day.
Yeah.
We also got Nathan Buckley is in the chat, and he says hello again. But
Hi, Nathan Buckley.
He also,
How are you doing today?
He wants to know where we're going this week.
Oh, well, here's the deal. We're not just standing in front of this RV for our own health
Wanna bet?
and prosperity,
We needed sunlight.
and just because we wanted to stand next to Brendan Gaughan because he's so good looking. We're taking this road trip. We're taking this RV. This guy right here is actually going to hop in with us here in a second, and we're going down the road. We're going to do something special that we're going to air on NASCAR.com, so you'll need to stay tuned for it with Brendan. But we're going to go live here, go down the road, but then after BG's done here, we're going to team up with Greg Biffle and race some sand rail cars. You guys probably know them as dune buggies out at Glamis. Amazing dunes. The whole 3 weeks, we're going to be doing some off-the-wall things with drivers, without drivers, with fans. We've already met people. There's people's camping behind us that are doing all 3 races, which is wicked
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
So
It's really
We've we've actually met a lot of fans
Yeah.
that are doing all 3.
Doing the whole West Coast
Yeah,
swing
doing the
with
whole
it.
West Coast swing.
That's neat. I mean, that's what makes the sport awesome.
Right.
I mean, that's where you don't go and catch a Clippers, a Lakers game, and it's not like it's a big deal. I mean, you're camping out for
Yeah.
weeks. You stay in the RV. That's kind of nice. I dig that.
Yeah. Well, and another segue here. If you're watching and you're going to be at a race, tweet us. Use hashtag NASCAR Goes West. Let us know what you're doing on your adventure if you're doing the West Coast swing.
we like Twitter, too.
Yeah,
this is
we do.
at Brennan62, and this is at Matthew Dillner, and this is at The Chuck Bush.
The
The
It
Chuck
sounds
Bush.
a little pretentious.
Is it The Chuck Bush or The Chuck Bush?
Well, I think more the Chuck Bush.
The Chuck,
Chuck Bush?
The Chuck Bush. Not
Chuck
the Chuck Bush, but the Chuck Bush.
The Chuck Bush.
Yeah.
So are we going to dump out that coffee and get going?
Yeah,
'Cause I want to hit the road.
You wanna hit the road?
I know Cousin Eddie's got to get this thing fired up probably.
Well, we can
By the
fire-
way, come here. This is our truck driver,
Hi, Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie.
Nice to meet you, sir.
I'll take you where you want to go.
Just take care of me today. I'm not doing the driving.
Keep
I'm a little nervous
all
about
the
that.
wheels on the ground.
You know what we ought to do is we ought to have Brendan Gaughan give the most famous words in motorsports, as Eddie likes this.
Cousin Eddie, start your engines.
Beautiful.
All right.
Sweet. Awesome. So Cousin Eddie's going to get in the thing
I'm gonna
and
dump
get
the
this
coffee
puppy
over here.
fired up, and we're going to hang out while Chuck Bush dumps his coffee pot, which is pretty funny, actually.
didn't show that one, thank God.
Environmentally safe coffee.
I
Actually,
got a little on my shoe.
he got a little on his shoe.
little on my
I don't
shoe.
have any shoes right now, which is pretty scary anyway. But
do not pan down.
do not pan down. So
Fire her up.
fired up. Are you ready? So when's
absolutely-
when's the last time you took a real road trip?
Well, actually, been with Camping World always took good care of me. I have a motor coach that I have on the East Coast for the wife and the kids, and my wife loves to do it. So we went to Disney World and stayed at like the
Nice.
campgrounds there during Daytona week, and had the road trip with the kids in it and driving down the road. And we did a bunch actually 2 years ago. We went to like what the heck was it? Right before you go to the big bridge to go to Dover, Delaware.
Maryland,
Yeah, but the
crabs.
I can't remember the name of the bridge, but there's a little state park we stayed there, and then we went to a
Okay.
place called Frontierland up in Delaware.
Nice.
We do. I love road tripping in the RVs, man. It's,
Especially with family too.
that's what it's supposed to be about. Family is when you
'Cause
jump
when-
in
when
these
you're-
things,
you know, I know
or
when
of
I-
course, good
yeah.
friends.
I know when I was a kid, I remember traveling up and down the road. We didn't have a fancy RV, which is these things are awesome. But we were in the back of my dad's pickup truck, and he had a cap on
cab
it.
over, yeah.
And we put a carpet down, and my brother and I would have pillows and a boombox stereo, and we travel up and down the East Coast going to races, short track races. But that's some of the best memories of my life.
I remember being right here for the Mint 400 back as a kid with the old campers with you had the bed over the
Yes.
cab,
Yes.
being a little boy, and you go out with mom and dad, and we'd actually be right about where we're standing now was the Mint 400 course.
That's
and this is
awesome.
where you'd sit and watch Dad drive by the wash that was right here, and once every 4 hours you'd see Dad go by and you jump out and wave, and then you go play in the dirt again. But I mean, the times I spent in those things growing up, I still remember to this day.
Well, we're going to try a death-defying stunt here. I think we got something in the chat room. You
No,
got something?
we don't. You
Wanna
guys
do a
need to be more
death-defying
active
stunt?
in the chat.
Get on the chat.
Seriously.
We want questions
We
for
want
this
questions.
guy. But we're going to do
Don't
some
ask anything
death-defying
tough.
stunts because this guy right here
No
behind the
tough
camera
questions.
is going to live walk up the stairs, get on this camper, and we're going to take bets on you think he's going to trip and fall?
Well, see, sound guy can have an effect on this because fans at home don't see that he's tethered.
You need
So
to pan
I
to
think-
show CJ.
I think
let's
sound
see
guy.
CJ.
See, sound guy can technically control him. Like he can just yank on him and pull him and give him. You know, we could have some fun with this. I mean, let's.
Should we let them go first?
Yeah, they should go first.
You go first. We
gentlemen.
want to see if you fall.
Yeah.
We're going to narrate this, okay?
You don't have to shoot you going into the RV.
Here we go. They're going into the RV. It's
Come on,
probably
give me
gonna turn
yank.
very dark
Give me yank.
right
Oh,
now.
catch that! Oh, no.
Oh, trouble. Justin has made up 2 steps, 3 steps. He's going to probably take the filter to where you could see inside there. And hey, hi, we're outside now. We're going to come in.
Sound guy's like, wait a second, I wasn't supposed to be doing
Hey,
this.
ladies first. Ladies
We're
first.
going to be here for a while.
We're going to be.
So
I guess darn it.
we win.
Road trip begins.
Sir, it's your home for the week. I'm just a visitor.
And CJ, I think we're going to put Brennan up there.
Oh.
We don't know where this show's going to go, folks. I think Morgan's going to. Morgan, are you got to drive? We have like chase vehicles
Hey,
everywhere.
look at that face. Hold on. You got to look at this frozen face right there. She's like,
Have you guys ever met Morgan Hollers on NASCAR.com?
anybody seen Morgan? The Mo
She's
Holler?
our
There's the Mo Holler out there.
she's our PR.
He's actually trying
PR
to make white. We're
extraordinaire.
screwing with him, trying to go from light to dark.
Yeah.
So never mind.
No, that's okay. She
professional
hid,
cameraman.
but it's okay.
Oh, she ditched.
So
Oh,
Brennan,
she
we're going to
ran.
put you in the passenger seat here,
Okay,
and
passenger
then
seat.
I think I'm going to come up.
Hey, now.
Hey, Brennan's had enough laps around here.
I can take a lap around this thing. Let's go. Let's put it on a bank.
Let's hear. We'll move our movies right here that we have, which we have a Camping World RV rental instructional video.
Very nice.
That
Glad
they
they-
provide
glad
you to
they
make sure
include that.
you're a safe camper.
Of course.
But of course, we have Step Brothers, and who on a road trip, who could beat Talladega Nights?
How do you
Chuck
not-
Bush.
I wanna go
All-star
Hold on.
move.
How do you not have a little
I'm going to
Christmas
shut the
vacation
door
since you
because
got
I don't
Cousin
think
Eddie
we
and
can
you
drive.
got
our
we need to
RV
get
door
that.
open. What?
We need to get Christmas vacation.
We don't have Christmas,
getting
but we
six-pack
have
brought up.
Vegas.
Ah.
Not Vegas vacation.
We do have Vegas
we have
vacation, I thought.
We've
Yeah,
got
but it's
several
not
movies.
because the RV
Papa
and
Giorgio.
Cousin Eddie
Blazing Saddles. We've got
is-
Blazing Saddles.
is the classic scenes of Cousin Eddie are from Christmas vacation.
When you were a
would
kid
help.
growing up in Vegas, were you
still a
Papa
kid.
Giorgio?
Actually,
Don't laugh. I mean,
I was
it's
Perry
such a
Gwynn.
serious question. That's all.
and
We
Perry
need-
Gwynn is still a
So what
dealer
is this?
at the
Is this
hotel.
your snack table? We should probably
What?
close this.
Oh, it's kind of nice going to sleep on it.
Like it? There we go. Ooh,
Right.
bang. All right,
don't
Brennan
hurt-
Gaughan,
don't hurt the coach,
road
man.
trip begins.
Got seatbelts.
You know
Are
what's
we ready?
awesome is you can see the fans.
I
leaving
take up a
the
lot of
camping
space.
area.
I'm blocking.
I
Oh,
know you
fans
do.
are
Yeah.
just. I mean, this morning at 7 a.m., the fans are piling out of here. But this
and-
infield, this infield has absolutely been jam-packed all weekend. So we've had a lot of fun.
You wanna have a seat?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a seat
Gonna have
so
a
we
seat?
can see Brennan. I
I got my
blocked-
seatbelt on.
You
Safe
get your
driver.
seatbelt on.
Safe driver.
Safe driving
Safety
right here.
first.
Unless
Yeah,
you-
we're safety, all right.
I think we might be ready. Let me just turn down the radio so we don't.
We had Avett
we don't have any
Brothers playing.
copyright infringement with music
understood.
on
I got
the,
you. Yeah, yeah.
You know, North
All those
Carolina's
legal
very
things.
own Avett Brothers.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're a Concord, North Carolina resident like I, you know, you like the Avett Brothers. Well, okay, on the road, what would be Brennan Gaughan's
We are rolling.
ultimate road trip music?
Ultimate road trip music? Well, it depends on if the wife and kids are with you or not.
So it would be gangster rap without 'em.
When the wife and kids are with you, it's normally somewhere to do with Disney or
The wheels on the bus.
yeah, stuff like that.
Well, these wheels on the bus are going round and round right now. We're going to be leaving the tunnel here.
Look at that thing. What do we got going there?
That is some sort of.
Wow, that was a contraption.
That's impressive. Whatever.
Some
that was.
interesting things in the infield. Some scaffolding.
And that was coming in.
That was coming in. I think they're a little late for the race, BG.
Maybe they're setting it back up for the Petty experience. I don't know. Maybe they're bringing something back in. I don't
There's
know.
Penske trucks coming in, but yeah, a little bit of traffic jam here. But
We've got some questions coming
I'll give
in.
you a clear, Chuck. Hold
so
on. You're clear right whenever you're clear left.
we
via
got a spotter
Facebook,
right now.
Still clear.
Mindy
clear for miles.
Rhodes
Clear to
wants
turn
to
four.
know.
Clear to turn 4.
Once we get clear,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe. Mindy Rhodes wants to know, Brendan, how did you get your start in racing? Did your interest start younger or older?
I grew up with my dad raced in the desert, like that Mint 400 thing I was talking about. We grew up right here, basically in the desert. My father raced since 1960-something, 68, 9. And we were desert rats. We went out and played in the dirt and had a great time playing in the dirt, watching Dad. And when I hit high school, I got to race. My father actually was injured in an off-road race, so he stopped racing. Where my brothers, we all just rode in the passenger seat. And in off-road race cars, there's 2 seats, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we used to ride with Dad, and then we'd go to college and maybe race for fun. He was injured, so I got to drive. And that's where I started. I started driving off-road race cars early and ended up driving for Walker Evans for a long time. And he mentored me all the way through college and went to college, played my football and basketball, but raced at the same time. And then I got really, really lucky. Off-road racers are who started the back then, the California Super Trucks is what it was called.
Yep.
And a bunch of off-roaders took this to Bill France and said, hey, we got an idea, and they bought it. And that is what today is the Camping World Truck Series. And so Walker was one of the founders of it, and I just started racing those afterwards.
And if you look at the Camping World Truck Series, the first year when it was just called the Super Truck Series, just the other year I went to Saugus Speedway in California, which is not that far away from Fontana, which is now a lost speedway. It's no longer operational. They have flea markets there and little swap shop deals. And on the wall, yeah, Hornaday cut his teeth there too. And on the wall there is still Super Truck Series.
California Super Trucks.
Pretty
That's
neat.
what it started as.
Where was the first then Craftsman Truck Series? Where was the first race?
The first Craftsman Truck Series?
Or the first when it became a NASCAR sanction.
When it became NASCAR sanctioned, the first one was either Tucson or Bakersfield.
Yeah, because they did that Western swing. Okay, we're doing this NASCAR Goes West thing here. It's something that the Truck Series used to do too, where they'd hit all the different West Coast races at the beginning of the Camping World Truck Series.
What happened was the off-roaders started it, and all the off-roaders were West Coast. So what they did was we had Monroe Speedway up in Evergreen, Seattle, Washington, still there today. They still race there. The Beetle family owned that forever.
They do great stuff,
and they were great there forever. Portland, the old oval that been torn down. Really cool story about that oval. Herschel McGriff. One of NASCAR's 50 greatest drivers.
Yep.
He raced for me in 2001 at the team we owned, the Old Orleans Racing Team. Thought that was cool as hell. And Herschel, amazing man, 70-something years old when he raced for me, and just awesome. But Herschel raced in the first paved race. He raced in the last dirt race at Portland in 1955. Raced in the first paved race when they paved it. Then they were tearing it down to make it dirt again in 2000. He came and raced the last paved race at Portland. And then somebody paid him to go back up and race the first dirt race again.
Oh, wow.
So it was just really cool kind of side story, Herschel McGriff. But so what they did was basically we had a lot of West Coast. You had Monroe, Portland, Mesa Marin, Tucson. They'd go to the Bull Ring. They had all these West Coast races they did, and then it would kind of go west after that.
Yeah.
So the guys used to spend a long time out west.
Now, we're leaving right now. You could see the grandstands. Here we're pulling out here. We're almost out.
I got
of
a
here.
fun fact in our interactive tablet. 1995, and it was Phoenix.
It was Phoenix.
Oh,
where
it was
we were
Copper
heading.
World Classic.
I was trying to
When you
lead
race
there.
the super modifieds also, and the Silver Crown
That's
cars.
right, because where they got big and got Bill to pick it up was Bill came out and watched Mesa and then watched the winter heats in Tucson as California Super Trucks. And it was kind of a test run. Then you're right.
It went
February.
Phoenix, Tucson, Saugus.
Yep.
That was in 1995. So
And
we
then
are
Bakersfield.
There you go. Yep,
20 years. 20 years later.
Yep, it is
and
20
now
years.
you
I can't
look
believe
and
it's
see
been that
where
long. And
where that series has gotten to.
And it's been such a huge part of your career too.
Been huge.
The Truck Series. You may be in the NASCAR Xfinity Series now and running Cup now too. You've had Cup experience also with Penske, but the Truck Series. How much is the Truck Series kind of defined your career in a way?
The Trucks is what made us. I mean, that's what got me a chance to do this job. Like I said, Walker Evans and the off-road angle and how they started it when I graduated. My first race ever in a NASCAR, event was here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. If you pan the camera to the left, you'll see a little nostalgia here. There's the old South Point Racing Shop.
That's right.
The banner is still up. It's coming right. Now you should see it out the window.
Yep.
That's the old South Point Racing Shop where our Camping World
there it
Truck
is.
team was. We were right there. Kevin Croyer, our engine shop, uses it now. Croyer Racing Engines. We dominate the desert, man. Kevin's kicking some butt, but without the Truck Series, I would not be where I am today. It would never have made it. So, it's my first race ever was a truck. We dominated that series for a couple of years and did really well and had great things, had great time. Came back. We ran it all from the West Coast right there in building D104.
When you were a kid and your dad was off-road racing, you took road trips.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking this road trip right now. I love road trips.
I normally be sleeping right about here.
I love road trips. Did you play any games? We used to play Punch Bug. We played Mad Libs. We just did really stupid stuff on the road. What did you
I always
do?
liked the alphabet game where you had to find you had to go through the alphabet on billboards, A, B, C, and go all the way down it. That was always my favorite.
What about you guys at home?
Now I'm looking. Oh,
Have any-
A, autos, B,
Auto,
barbecue.
hey. And breakfast.
Breakfast.
Ooh,
breakfast, yeah.
breakfast. I like breakfast.
Cars. That
Cars,
doesn't count,
see.
though, yeah. Jessica Goggins has another question.
Hi, Jessica.
Yeah,
Hi,
she-
Jessica.
she-
I like Jessica's active today. We like
she
Jessica.
is active. She wants to know
Jessica, you
who
rock.
is the driver who influences you most in your life?
Well, that I
Good
mean, my
question.
father was a race car driver, but you can't count that because I mean he was
Why not?
well because he raced in the desert. But my father influenced
Still a
me in
racer.
just about everything else in my life.
Yeah.
But really, the man who was the biggest influence in my life racing was Walker Evans. I was lucky. I had Parnelli Jones, mentoring me as a little boy. I had Walker mentoring me as a little, still to this day. And so Walker Evans is the one that by far was the man that took me under his wing and taught me just about everything I knew.
I have a question. You kind of touched on it earlier when you said, playing basketball. Earlier in the weekend, I think it was Saturday morning, you were in the media center and you were talking about Tyler Adams, and you teared up a little bit. But then
I don't believe you have any proof of that.
we might have been rolling on that.
It's okay because you know what? Emotion is
But-
emotion. It's real.
Well, I know-
None of these fans want to see. I'm sorry. We all know Brendan Gaughan as a goofball. I'll let you get back to that. But we all know Brendan Gaughan as a racer and then a guy who likes to have fun.
Oh, it's stuck.
You don't want somebody that's phony,
Safety.
right? The dude's real. So emotion's real, dude.
It was just a. Go ahead. Actually.
Well, I was going to say he plays in the game and he scores the first point.
And the fans don't even. Some of these fans don't even know the story.
And go on YouTube or Twitter.
Just
the
type in
footage is
Tyler
there.
Adams.
Tyler Adams.
Great story.
He gets the dunk, and it was just
classy move by Seton Hall.
right.
Yes.
Super classy by Seton
Yes.
Hall. Really appreciate that. That was Coach Thompson even said that afterwards. That was really cool. But to me, what it really was about for me is we talked about it outside when we were talking perspective. I'm going to be 40 years old this year. I'm still racing cars.
Yeah.
I'm still sitting here. We're goofing around in a motorhome, being a bunch of clowns. This is our job. This is a pretty darn cool job when you really think about the things that we could be doing. And so, to me, this was a very special occasion to look at an 18-year-old boy. He made the decision when he was 18. That's when he got told his life was going to change. And he chose an education over the opportunity maybe to still play and maybe kill himself or maybe not or maybe, and that's as an 18-year-old, can you think back when we were 18? Would you have been able to make that choice?
No.
There's
no way.
And how about just having to make it? So Chuck, we're getting on that 215 and heading that way.
We should bring Justin up here so he could get a better view. Nobody needs to see this face, right?
Oh no, it's
I mean,
all about
Brennan-
Dillner. It's all
No,
about Dillner.
it's definitely not. We're
it's
gonna make
always all
we're gonna
about
make a
Dillner.
switch here live on the bus. Go for it. I'll block
Live switch. Just don't tell
Nice
the
and
parents at
safe
home.
too.
But no, so to me that whole deal, what I was so impressed with, and was the fact that first an 18-year-old took that, and then instead of letting it ruin his life and just acting like the end of the world, he decided to be almost like an assistant coach.
Right.
And Coach
Right.
Thompson, this is why I love my Coach Thompson, Big John, and Coach Thompson III. I've always said it, and you've talked to me about it before, but they teach more about life than they do basketball. They care about livelihoods. There's
And
a
not just
famous
W's.
That's right. And that's the famous statement that Big John Thompson used to say was, don't base your existence off 8 to 10 pounds of air. Or the whole quote is, don't let the sum total of your existence be 8 to 10 pounds of air. So that's a kid that took that statement that Georgetown has used for 30 years and did something with it. And a coach, how many coaches would take a kid like that and go, well, sorry, there's your scholarship, bye.
Yeah.
No. Georgetown, the school gave it to him. He went to the NCAA and got a waiver so he could still give him a scholarship and not count against the program. And then for 16 months, it took Coach Thompson almost a year and a half to get permission to do that.
Wow.
Just to start him. It took 16 months for him to get the NCAA to say, yes, this kid could do it. I mean, that shows people do still care in this world.
Well, you're talking about family, and you're talking about a coach there. Now you're driving for Richard Childress. If you walk up and down that garage, I've been in the NASCAR garage now since '98 consistently, and you walk up and down that garage area when you see RC, he's the old school guy. He's still of the old guard, okay? And there's so much respect there, and everybody knows his grandkids race for him, so that's something that's close to his heart, his family. But so many people that work within RCR consider RCR a family. You're a Vegas guy. You're out here. that's like the kingpin of North Carolina racing, old school racing. Now you guys are together. How much of it is like family?
It fits perfect. You know, the South Point Casino, we have people that have been with us over 40 years. You know, I mean, and Richard has employees that have been with him 30 plus years. Anytime you get a family atmosphere, it's always a more fun deal. And his place is like family. And I keep saying that I'm there at the right time, because you know that Richard wants his grandsons to do well. So you know that program he's going to really focus and put effort into. So I'm at RCR at the absolute right time. We're going to be given the best stuff. We're going to be given the best opportunities. He's working his tail off to keep, you know, all the sponsors in the door. We're working our tails off to keep, you know, us running fast. It is of all the teams I've been on, it is the only one that really is run like a family.
I don't know if we could see this on camera here.
Nope.
Maybe I can help you out because he's at a bad angle here.
He's
I'll
at a
help you
funny
out.
angle.
So white balance.
You're at a funny angle here.
He's wrapped. Hey, that cord I was talking about.
Okay,
it looks
folks,
like little bondage going on here. I like
I
it.
have taken control of the camera, giving him a break here. Look at this view. We're road tripping with Brendan Gaughan right now.
Mount Charleston, Lee Canyon. Go skiing right there.
What is
45
this?
minutes away.
What is it?
About 45 minutes away. You can actually go skiing in Las Vegas, right there.
Yeah.
And you have snow-topped mountains.
Mount Charleston, Lee Canyon.
Yeah.
So if you come out and road trip here in Las Vegas or do the whole NASCAR Goes West thing, I did between Phoenix and Vegas last year.
Yep.
And just driving through the mountains, it was unbelievable, the views and the
it's
things
gorgeous around
you
here.
see. You know,
Chuck, you know what I think really funny, though, off of that?
What's that?
You know that Dillner couldn't handle being that long without the camera.
I
in
know.
his hand.
I was about to comment that,
Without being what?
He
Without a
had
camera
to
in your
go
hand.
back into garage cam mode and get behind the camera. He was like, "This has to look
No,
great.
no,
It
no.
has to be the best
We're giving it
footage
back. Hold
ever."
on. See, folks, this is our unsung hero today. Let's lighten it up so he sees it.
not just today, of the whole trip.
Of the whole trip, because
Like-
usually this ugly guy does camera and
Look at how
talks.
well he does that, though. I mean,
This
it's
guy
so
right here
professional.
But
is the man.
This whole trip, though, we've got a whole raft of people that are coming out and helping
Yes.
out and supporting this whole trip.
Kind of like
I mean,
racing.
cool.
Yeah, it's
That's neat.
like
When I heard you guys doing it, I thought this was kind of a cool gig, because it really is. Like you said, you've met fans that are
Right.
doing the exact same thing,
Right.
the West Coast road trip.
And it's like there's one guy that we were talking to at the tweet up at the Speedway yesterday, who he and his wife, they're from Bakersfield, I think.
Bakersfield, California. and
Bakersfield,
there's,
California. They've been to all of these races since the track's open. Like they have come
awesome.
to all of these races, and it's to them it's like a family experience at the track.
Yep.
You know, the fans they park in the same spot. The
Yep.
RVs are in the same place.
And they love they are passionate about their parking
They are.
spot.
They are.
And the guy's name is Roger, and his business card, I have it right here. We can't show it on camera because we don't want people to have his number. But my favorite part is his self-made title is, quote, firewood dude.
Firewood.
Roger.
dude.
Firewood dude.
Roger the firewood dude.
I bet he brings cords of wood for everybody for their campfires.
Hey, but Roger,
bears
if
a
you're listening
striking
right now,
resemblance to
we need some firewood possibly for the rest of our trip. We didn't think about that. When you hit the road,
Well, and the
sometimes
West
you don't
Coast,
think of things.
the West Coast, like you go on East Coast, every one of them tracks has firewood guys out there.
Yeah,
They got
yeah.
cords of it. The West Coast, we don't have quite the same, foresty.
I was going to say, if you look outside,
around.
there aren't that
You
many
don't have
trees
the
that you could
forest
chop
to
down.
chop
Yeah.
the wood from. So
Yeah.
the firewood dude probably comes in really
How do you
handy
make
on
a
the West
fire-
Coast wind.
fire
Kinda-
out here
kinda
without
hard to
firewood?
burn sand.
Well, out west, most of the time now, unless you have grandfather in, you can't have wood burning fireplaces anymore.
Oh wow.
So you have to have gas burning fireplaces. So it really.
Well, I mean, we have plenty of gas in
I'm going.
this,
I am sure. Folks at home, I am absolutely sure this motorhome has plenty of gas in it.
this guy
That
right
one?
here.
No,
This
no.
guy right
Hold
here.
on,
It-
Dillner. I've known you a long
This
time.
guy right
Yeah,
here.
if you look at Dillner and his physique.
Whoa! What's physique have to do with anything? I'm going to
Well,
take
Hey,
offense.
hang on,
you're
hang on, hang
sandwiched
on.
between two thick guys here. We might have to do a little road trip beating them up here.
Ooh, that was another road trip game we used to play in the back seat. Squish them.
Squish them. Oh, yeah.
You had all the kids in the back seat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you make a left-hand turn, you squish everybody over to the other
Absolutely.
side, too.
Just had to make sure them doors were
Did you ever
locked
do,
and
did
shut
you ever
well.
do the like have the finger out and say I'm not touching you?
I'm not touching
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm not touching you.
That would annoy the crap out of my sister.
Well, we had a
I'll
tough
teach you
time.
this. If you ever done this, you
Like
can make
the-
it sounds like a
yeah,
buzzing bee.
yeah.
So you go the person in the front seat and you go behind them and did that, and they're
We had a tough time the other night because Chuck, we laid out some ground rules, okay, and I wasn't aware of I thought it was one way. So here's the deal. We had a rule. If you have your shoes off, you can't be messed with if you fall asleep.
That's
Well,
that's an
okay.
age-old rule.
I
That if
thought-
you were to fall asleep and your shoes are off, can't
I
mess
thought
with
if a foot was on the ground, you're fair game. So this guy was sleeping in the back with his foot on the ground, and I came in there with the camera rolling to wake him up just for fun, because that's what you do on road trips is you prank
But he
each
took
other.
offense to that because
he
it
got a
broke the
little
rule.
ticked off.
But I maintained my cool because I saw that he was
Video
filming.
taping it.
It
So you
took a
tried to
minute.
hurt-
It took a minute to
you maintained
process
your
it.
cool until the camera went off.
Yeah.
Then it was Jimmy Superfly.
He
Snuka
owes me
off
one.
the
He
turnbuckle.
owes me one. But road trips. How much of road trips are about fun, but about hijinks and humor?
Oh, absolutely. That's part of. Look, I mean, I played college sports. You travel with a football team where the guys, or a basketball team where the guys, you're going to have. When you live with guys like that on the road,
Yeah.
you've got to have a good time. You got to play with them. You know who doesn't like it. So of course you try to pick on them the hardest.
Yes.
You do it the least, but when you do it, you make sure it's really good.
My roommate in college was the long snapper at Western Carolina, and so I, all throughout college, was surrounded by the football team, and it that was the number one rule. If you pass out and your shoes are off, nobody can do anything.
Okay.
It's because it's all about fair play.
Gaughan's
You
a
don't
little
wanna-
sleepy right now. You're not going to fall asleep on us, because if you do, you never know what's going to happen.
Well, you know, I do have a tendency to fall asleep when I'm driving down the road, which is amazing.
Well, yeah, if you're not driving, like me, I'm a control freak. I
Well, no,
like
even if I'm driving.
You know, if I'm not
Even when I'm driving, I have a tendency to fall asleep on the road.
How's Cousin Eddie doing over there?
Cousin Eddie doesn't look like he's falling asleep, fortunately. He's doing good.
It's still early.
Yes, it's early morning here. He's digging. He looks like he definitely knows how to do this for a living. He's got the hand position ready. He knows what he is doing up here. He's got it going.
Look at Beatty here getting the shots here. Pretty darn cool. You know, so yeah, where are we going right here? I see Decatur Boulevard.
Okay, so what we're doing, we're going to turn right here at Decatur. No, actually 3 miles. This is Aliante. This is one of our competitors. We don't talk about that casino. It's a competitor casino. We're going to drive by them, act like they don't exist. And we're going to go to Decatur Boulevard. Now, are we allowed to say where we're going now? Are we allowed to finally say
well,
it?
we could give him a little sneak
give him a
peek.
tease.
Okay. We're going to
Yeah.
go out to the base of this mountain to our right. And there's a facility up on at the base of that mountain that it's new in the term of Vegas. It's about 4 years old, and it is owned by the county of Clark County, and it's a really cool facility. My old spotter, the Batman, lives up there and works out there right now, so he's graciously got us where we are allowed to jump on this thing and going to have a little bit of fun and make a lot of noise.
And what I would say is, to the fans watching, keep watching on NASCAR.com because
Yeah, keep going straight.
we will
Sorry.
have the video of what we're doing. It'll post, I believe,
About 3
maybe
more miles, 2 more
tomorrow
miles
morning.
now, that
I'm
side
not.
Decatur.
It all
We're gonna
depends
turn
on
right,
when
and then it dead ends at
myself or Justin,
at
when we edit the footage together to give you a nice little package.
We're
to
on a
watch
road
on
trip
the,
too, so we have to work.
We gotta
pretty
work.
much around the clock.
Yeah, it's fun.
Okay.
But hey,
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry.
we've got a fridge stock.
You two working?
Huh?
Work? I mean, you two?
Work.
We have a fridge
Work.
stock, but
No,
unfortunately,
there's my quotes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Work. Some people say we're working, but it's the perspective aspect of it.
Perspective.
You know,
Perspective.
we get to travel around and do stuff like this, and it's called work by some people.
Those fans that you met that are on the West Coast
Yeah.
Swing have real jobs
Right.
that they took vacation time off of to come do these things, and they're spending their hard-earned money to come out here and enjoy our stuff. If we acted like we didn't enjoy this,
Right.
you're a putz.
Well, and that's why it's good. That's why I like shows like this where we get the fans involved. And speaking of which, I got another question for you from Brandon Lowe's via Twitter. Wants to ask, what is the hardest thing about going from an Xfinity car to a Sprint Cup car?
This year, it's actually a little bit easier than it has been in the past. You know, in the past, you really had to lift. You really had to do a lot of different style driving between a Sprint Cup and Xfinity car. This year, the way the motor package is working out, it really does handle much more like an Xfinity car. The way the motor drives, the way you're trying to trail throttle. The biggest difference is that spoiler they took off the Cup car, they took downforce out, which means that no matter what, your Cup car is always going to be a little bit freer, moving around a little bit more, which honestly is an absolutely fun thing as a driver because you now have to drive the hell out of these things. I mean, you're watching the guys winning the race. We're going to go right, Chuck. And you're watching guys win these races, and even their tails wagging, and they're moving that thing around. It's a lot of fun. We're passing my mother's ranch right here, by the way, too.
This is so cool out here because it's like it's hard to see because it's so dark in here and so bright in there. So he's constantly having to
White balance up and down.
just iris up and down. But the mountains that are out there are literally snow-capped. But we're in the desert and the mountains all in one. It's
like
unbelievable.
Magic. It's like magic.
how you could be in the desert and then off in the distance you have winter snow. It's just the coolest thing. If you've never been out here to the West Coast for any of these races, I'm not saying this to be promoting NASCAR Goes West. I know that's what our purpose is out
Presented
here.
by Camping World.
Presented by Camping World.
Of course, we're not doing it to promote.
We're not doing it to promote at all.
Our
but I'm
sponsor
just
who
telling
gave
you
us
right
this
now,
fine RV that we're in to travel the.
Before we made this plan to do this, I was actually bringing my wife out here, Erica, who's at home pregnant and watching this. Hi, sweetie. We were going to come out here because if you go between the races, it's unbelievable the things that you could do out here.
No, we call it the high desert. Like, people don't understand that you get dang cold in the high desert at night. Mm-hmm. You know, it drops way down. So racing out here, you always had to remember that. And it growing up in high school, Perry Gwynn, the real Perry Gwynn, not me, Perry Gwynn. We used to go out to Mount Charleston if it snowed on weekends, and everybody in Vegas, you know, little bitty two-wheel drive, front-wheel drive cars, it snows, they get stuck. We'd have my big truck, my four-wheel drive truck, and we'd go up there and pull them out. You know, and they give you $5, $10, $20, you know, to pull them out of the snow. It was our little cottage industry. So it's only 45 minutes away. Back then, actually, it was 45 minutes away. Now it's only about 20 minutes away from town.
Have you ever climbed those mountains? I know you're huge on physical fitness like myself. Have you ever climbed those mountains over there?
That was a shot fired right there.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, if anybody's fired shots to each other, this guy and I have.
I mean, look, hey, first of all, pot kettle. Second of all, it's not like I can
I'm
discount
telling you what,
okay?
I'm running a lot heavier chassis than you are, brother.
Yes, what I did was a lot of up there. There's a couple little backcountry ski spots.
Yeah,
I'm a big skier, and so I've done some backcountry skiing up there. Yep, straight. We're going all the way, that road you see going up, we're heading all the way out there.
And if you attach skis to my rear end, I'd be an Olympic gold medal.
He would be the biggest skier that you would have ever seen.
Amazing. I'd go down the hill.
Gravity plays a big component.
I've got a lot of gravity,
man. You get that baby to point, you can get it to turn.
Hey, Dylan,
gravity is a big deal.
Keep your skis straight. It'll be fun for you. We got another question from Mindy Rhodes.
Hi.
She wants to know, what are your hobbies outside of racing?
Well, we're talking about one right there.
Yeah,
Spent a lot of time snow skiing.
Yeah.
Okay. My 2-year-old started this year. My 4-year-old's been doing it for 2 years. Is his third year skiing this year.
2 years old on skis?
And my 4-year-old goes. We have a home in Vail, Colorado, and he actually skis the famous back bowls of Vail already. My 4-year-old. He goes back there with me and goes anywhere I want him to go, and he just tags along with Daddy and flies on down the mountain.
Wife ski?
No. Yes, she puts on skis, but the 2-year-old's faster than her already.
Now, I know my mom, whenever we would go, and my dad was kind of the same way too, both of them had bad accidents when they were younger skiing, so they would go sit in the lodge and drink coffee.
Ski all day. Don't après, even though it means after. They just après ski before.
They just they watch us to make sure we're not hurting. Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering, we're on a road trip right now, and I totally didn't dress professional.
No, you didn't.
This guy has at least a NASCAR shirt on, but we're both donning shorts. He's got a nice South Point shirt on. Why are you wearing jeans, dude?
I was trying to nobody told me that didn't have to be professional today. Every once in a while I try to be.
You could have wore chubbies today. You know what chubbies are? Chubbies are short shorts.
First of all, we're in a van of motorhome full of guys, and we're talking about chubbies.
This guy has about 4 chubbies in the back of the he does. This guy has tie-dye chubbies, American flag chubbies. They are terrifyingly short, folks. And I'm sure if you follow us on NASCAR Goes West, the hashtag, at some point you're going to see him.
Brian France is going to to and yell at me.
He's going
to lose our jobs.
Like, we're done.
Yeah. If all of a sudden it just goes to those bar screens, folks at home.
If you see
the national
NASCAR
anthem
bar
plays.
go crossing here, dun, 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 thank you for watching. And in our chat, we got our producer back in Charlotte said, no filter for that shot. Oh, my eyes. And I don't know if that's in reference to the chubbies or
I must have went by and my big rear end. My big rear end actually
we digress.
You're seeing his leg. Hey, you're seeing this leg right here? That's
other hobbies.
Too much leg.
I'm an avid scuba diver. I spend a lot of time scuba diving. I'm a dive master.
I was supposed to go scuba diving with you.
I've been trying to get you to do it for almost 2 years.
I know, but I didn't have time to take the course last year.
Time It's online.
I know.
Fans.
I'm always
hold
online.
Dillner to
My
it.
cousin finished it in 4 hours.
You told me it would take forever.
I told you it.
I just want to swim with sharks. I don't care. That's my bucket list thing. And Matt Roper is our producer, and he really
said that
wants
was
to do
for
it
my
too.
bright white legs.
Oh yeah, those
that's
are
the thing. We're in the
terrifyingly
desert.
white.
I'm going to
I
try
wanna
and
swim
get
with
some
sharks.
sun on these thighs,
Hey,
so
hey,
so
you
by
need
the
some sun.
time actual spring rolls around back on the East Coast,
You are glowing.
I'll be ready to go.
We have it on our nose.
It's on my nose, but I hate to do this.
Uh-oh.
But we have now spent about 40 minutes
Wow.
just sitting here talking.
Well, hopefully this
Chewing
is
the fat.
entertaining.
Chewing
for
the fat
fans.
is wrong.
I like chewing the fat.
Because we all know I like to talk. So this is my type of show, man. We're having some fun.
Brendan Gaughan is coming out with a new NASCAR.com special called 16 Hours with Brendan Gaughan.
It's a marathon.
It's
he'll-
watch
he'll-
Brendan as he
Me,
brushes his
MTV.
teeth.
Brendan will be
Do
commentating
you
the
talk when
whole
you brush your
Rolex
teeth, dude?
24 hours next year. Straight. Just him with a microphone all 24 hours of the
I
Rolex.
can
You got
make
it? Yeah?
Let's do it. I'll do it. I'm in.
Hey,
Dude, we're getting close to
we
these
can do that.
mountains.
We can live stream it on NASCAR.com,
Hey,
but they probably won't let us.
You know how we should really end this piece?
How?
Are we near the end?
We're getting near the end.
Tell me when we're near the end because I got something we'll do and it'll be really fun.
What we should probably do right here is we should probably find a good rap, set the scene.
Set the scene.
Set the scene. You know, tell the fans what we're doing.
Move my big head so you can see
Yeah.
mountains.
You know, if we can see the mountains and just sort of say we're
I'll just
heading
lean my
down
head
the
on
road
Eddie.
on our adventure in our Camping World RV. Camping World
Right now,
RV.
you can't see behind you. I'm sure this shot is setting that up, looking at what they're looking
Yeah.
at. They're looking at a dirt road and a mountain.
yeah.
We're headed down
we
a
don't
dirt
know
road. We
where
don't know
we're
where
going. We're going down a dirt road with Brendan Gaughan.
The desert
We're-
is a big place.
We're
And we have
going
a
on an
shovel.
adventure.
And a
So
shovel.
if you want to plan your adventure,
Oh,
log
crap.
on to campingworld.com so
Sorry.
you can plan yours and we can go on an adventure together. If you're going to be at the track, tweet us.
Yes.
Hashtag NASCAR Goes West.
We want to meet all you guys that are doing this, and the people that aren't, we want to tweet with you.
Yeah.
Because we're big about social. We're big about Snapchat. I'm just getting into Snapchat, actually. It's a little odd if you're not a Snapchatter, but you know, it's we're getting into it. It's pretty
Sending
cool.
pictures of
NASCAR's
Richard Nixon. to
Yeah,
people.
exactly. Richard Nixon pictures being sent to.
Yeah.
So we got mountains
We're
and
derailing.
everything. Yeah.
Very close.
We're derailing here. And I do want to apologize
derailed
to
a long
John.
time ago.
Yeah, to John Roadhouse Householder for not getting to your question, but you work for NASCAR, so
You don't get a question.
you don't come first. The fans
And you're
come
a
first.
Jeff Gordon fan.
Is he-
I've
is
never
he legal
seen you.
NASCAR? Is he legal department?
No, he's not legal
No.
department.
Okay,
He
but I've
works
never
for
seen
news.
him wear,
He's
like,
the
a Brendan
tall,
Gaughan
goofy
shirt.
guy.
Well, I'm just making sure the legal department
Actually, I
wasn't
don't
telling
have
you
a
the story.
Brendan Gaughan
He's
shirt.
the tall, goofy guy that sits in the media center sometimes and asks questions, and
Yeah.
he'll be at the care center.
He's
if-
usually
if-
sitting next to Stan
yeah.
Creekmore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, before we get too far off track, let's go ahead and say thank you to Brendan for joining us today and taking us out on this
I think
adventure.
you should open that.
Log on to
window.
NASCAR.com so you can find it later.
See that checkered flag?
For Matthew Dillner,
We should end this.
Brendan Gaughan, CJ, Justin, Cousin Eddie, all the folks back in Charlotte.
Checkered flag is out. The road trip
Even
show is over, but the road trip's just beginning.
even Richard, I can't pronounce your last name. I don't want to screw it up.
okay.
Richard Barris, you're watching from Eubank, Kentucky. King James, Chuck.
King James.
Yeah, King James.
Like
says,
LeBron
Chuck,
James?
when are you going to
LeBron
shave?
James is
I'm
on
not
our
going to
show.
shave just yet. I'm going to try and go this whole trip without shaving to see what type of beard I get.
Fuzzy.
But we are pulling in to the Clark County Shooting Complex.
Oh boy.
Oh, no.
Oh boy. What is Brendan Gaughan doing with us,
So
dude?
we're gonna wave the checkers on this on this show right here. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of the West Coast Swing.
Bye, everybody.